Arise, O Lord, for the ark of that covenant is risen this morning. And beloved, we salute you and we appreciate and respect you for obeying and availing yourself for this kind of mission, because it's not an easy mission. The time to enjoy sleep is early in the mornings. But you see, that is the time you are taken off guard. When God sent Moses to Egypt, 2 times God told Moses, wake up very early in the morning, for Pharaoh rises early in the morning to go to the Nile. What does that mean? Pharaoh, who was the government of the kingdom of Egypt, which controlled almost the whole world, gets up early in the morning to go to the Nile. Why? That was his power base. That was where he goes to draw strength. When you wake up early in the morning with this program, Commanding the Morning, we are also waking up early in the morning to draw strength from our source of power, heaven's altar. What is an altar? Now, you have heard many people talk about altars. So many writings and billboards about altars. But I tell you, they don't even know what altars are actually. Yes, they have no idea. They have no clue. What is an altar? An altar is a source of power. It's like the plug in your house where you plug in to tap power for your deep freezer, your fridge, your systems, your fan, your AC. That is some kind of an altar, because an altar is a power base where you can pull or tap power for use. So God was telling Moses, this guy Moses was the first government of God that confronted the devil's government. That is why I'm bringing this story, because our mission is to finally establish God's government, which will confront human governments. Because the human governments we see, we think they are human beings like us. No. Yes, they are human beings like us. Yes, but they are being influenced by the devil. That is why you cannot see human governments acting accurate and right and righteous, except one that I know, that I've read about. And this old man in Uruguay, Eastern Europe or something like that. Look at you in Singapore. A man who ran a government that was so honest with his people. It's one of his kind. It's difficult. Majority just deceive the masses and come into power for their selfish interests. They and their cronies. Their cronies are the ones who will send them money, sponsor them, give them the backing financially. So that when they come, they will bleed the nation. That is why you see all kinds of contracts that have been signed. When you examine the contract, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That is the influence we are talking about. So back to what we were talking about, early morning rising. Moses goes to the Nile. Why? That was his power base to draw strength, because he knows Pharaoh goes to the Nile every morning. Why? That was his power base to draw strength, so that he can be ready to confront Moses, because he knows that Moses has power. He knows. And he also needs power. So this is the contention between God's government and the devil's government. This noise about corruption, mismanagement, create, loot, and share. It is the devil's government that is creating all these things. The devil uses that to deceive the people that look, you gain, you go in for your own gain. But at the end of the day, there are three things the devil will use these people to do: to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Yes. Because when people do not have the knowledge to know that there are two influences on planet Earth, it's either the negative influence or the positive influence. These are the only influences. You can be in the middle. As we get up in the morning, we are disturbing many people. That these people, Moses was told by God to get up in the morning so that he can disturb Pharaoh. He told Moses that go to the Nile. So Moses now started to go to the Nile too, because that is where Pharaoh's source of power is. Beloved, I tell you this morning, we are also dealing with some people's source of power. We are crumbling some forces, some contentions, some agitations, some conspiracies. We are crumbling them, collapsing them. That is why this platform will not have crowd, because the crowd don't know what they are about. They are being influenced by the devil. They are deceived to do things that does not bring result. Yes, it doesn't bring no result.